Did you know that our moon is the fifth largest moon in the solar system? It is a rocky, airless, and heavily cratered world, with a surface that has been shaped by billions of years of meteorite impacts. On July 20th, 1969, American astronaut Neil Armstrong became the first human to step onto the surface of the moon. As he descended the ladder of the Apollo 11 lunar module, he famously declared, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." What if people on Earth are now ready to take a giant step onto the moon? What if we terraform the moon? Wouldn't it be a fascinating idea? This is Scenario X. And are you ready to dive into the world of possibilities with me? Before we delve into the specifics of terraforming the moon, let's first define what terraforming is. Terraforming is the process of changing a planet or moon's atmosphere, temperature, and other environmental factors so that people can live there. This process has a lot of steps, such as changing the atmosphere, making a magnetic field, and changing the shape of the planet or moon's surface. It is a process of transforming a planet or moon into a habitable environment for human life. Terraforming comes from people wanting to explore and live on other planets in our solar system and beyond. Though it sounds like a much simple task, in the real world that is nearly impossible. One of the primary challenges of terraforming the moon is creating a habitable atmosphere. So the moon has no atmosphere, which would not support human life. To change the moon into a habitable place, scientists would have to add gases like oxygen and nitrogen to thicken the air and make it possible to breathe. Also, making a magnetic field to protect the planet from radiation from the sun and cosmic rays would be important for making a place where people could live. And also, the moon has no water there, so scientists have to think of new ways to produce water there, and those ways should be sustainable. Another important aspect of terraforming is establishing a self-sustaining ecosystem. To do this, plants and other organisms would have to be brought in to make oxygen and other resources. These living things would also be important for stabilizing the climate and ecosystem. Despite the challenges, there are several steps that we could take to terraform the moon. The first step would be to make a magnetic field, shielding the moon from radiation from the sun and cosmic rays. Putting a group of electromagnetic satellites in orbit around the moon could do this. The satellites would create a magnetic field that will keep radiation from reaching the moon's surface. The next step would be to create an atmosphere on the moon. This could be done by releasing gases, such as nitrogen and oxygen, onto the moon's surface. The gases must be kept inside a dome or some other structure to keep the gases from going into space. Once the atmosphere is set up, we could bring in plants and other organisms to help make oxygen and create an ecosystem that can care for itself. Terraforming the moon would have many benefits, like allowing people to live there permanently. A moon that people could live on could help people explore and settle other parts of the solar system in the future. The moon could also be used to test new technologies and research. Aside from the usual benefits of terraforming, it would be best to choose our moon because the logistics costs would be low and the travel time would be short. So the idea of terraforming the moon is an exciting and ambitious concept. While it would be challenging, the benefits of creating a habitable environment on the moon could be significant. A moon that people could live on could be used as a base for future space exploration and colonization. It could also open up new ways for science and technology to advance. Since terraforming the moon is a complex and challenging process, it is highly unlikely that we will see terraforming within the next decade. So, even though scientists and researchers are still considering the idea of making other planets more like Earth, it's unlikely that we'll make much progress in this area in the next 10 years.